Put that on that beat. Go.
They not like us. 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 They not like us.
Welcome, guys, to the first episode. Well, not really the first episode, but the pilot of TeamTalk with TeamCut Productions. I guess presented by TeamCut Productions. I don't know what the title is going to be yet. I don't know what the show is going to be exactly called. It's either going to be TeamTalk presented by TeamCut Productions or TeamTalk with TeamCut Productions. What do you think?
I say presented by TeamCut Productions.
Okay, so I like that too. So, again, let's restart then. Long story short is we actually had a guest originally, but they couldn't make it today. So hopefully next week we'll get them back on. I don't want to say who it is just yet, but we'll let you guys know if we end up getting locked in. If not, we'll get somebody else. But yes, we already have somebody ready to substitute because they're excited as well. I'll let you know later on what artist it is.
Okay.
They're local artists, nobody huge. We'll see how far we get along with this podcast. We'll see who we can bring on, who we want to bring on, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, let's introduce ourselves. My name is Victor, a.k.a. Big Sexy. I'm originally the owner, the founder of TeamCut Productions. I've been doing this, believe it or not, for, man, it feels like I started in
2020, no?
No, I think I made the team in 2012. I was in 8th grade.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's been 12 years. TeamCut Productions has been made since 2012, and it's been 12 years. That's insane to think about.
Mm-hmm.
And
what was the concept of TeamCut Productions? How did that come about?
the original concept, believe it or not, it's so crazy to see how, like, I guess things happened,
Mm-hmm.
like in life in general. The reason I say that is because TeamCut Productions was what the world is striving at currently with social media. I'm not even joking. You can ask the original members, who I hope to maybe one day bring on, just so I have some proof. We had so many team members. I think at one point we had 12 members on the team.
Oh, really?
It was a bunch of high schoolers who had love and passion for media in general. So whether that was video gaming, whether that was vlogs, whether that was production, like media production, like actual like movie, well, not movies, but I guess like smaller movies, like budget films, like stuff like that, because we went to a creative art school, a charter school. So that was the reason for the production team, was so we can make our own little movies, skits, and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was the original concept. We had a full team. We had ideas to do a team house. We had ideas to do vlogs. We had ideas to do podcast. I'm not even joking. This was like all 12 years ago, before what today is, like social media wise. The idea of what TeamCut Production was, we were ahead of the curve. I'm not even joking. Had we committed, like as a team, we'd be millionaires. I'm not even joking. The vision was there, the money was there. It was just the team wasn't there. It was unfortunate because I am the founder. I am the owner of TeamCut Productions. I put my own money. I put my own time. I put my own efforts into really getting this team up on the ground. And I think in total, it was 3 times we've shut down and restarted. So the first time was 2012, and we tried, and then we shut it down in 2014. It was 2 years. We mostly did video gaming stuff. We shut it down because nothing was happening, because people were just like, I can't do it this day. I don't want to do it. The things we're doing is not good. So it's like, well, fuck it. I already put so much money into this, whatever. We're going to shut it down. We'll revive it whenever we're ready. Let's try to get some money back up, put budget in, whatever the case is, so we can get TeamCut back to its original form. Team members starting to leave, whatever the case may be, but the original founding members stayed. It was 2014 to 2015 when the new generation of consoles came out. We're like, let's go back into it. This is the perfect time. We'll get new capture cards. We'll get new microphones. All the consoles. And again, same thing happened. People just pulled out like, yo, this is too much work. We feel like you have full control. Like you're not giving us full control. I'm like, well, yeah, I'm the owner and the founder. I'm putting my money into it. I'm the investor. I'm the founder. Like, I have an idea and I have a vision. Let's roll with this. And if frankly, if you don't like it, if you're not putting your time, your money, your efforts into it, then get the fuck out of my face. That was my mentality back in the day. So they left. I had my own little team like that starting to form again. So I think from 2015 to 16, all the way to 17, which is, I think they're still up. If you look up TeamCut Gaming, some of our old videos are up there. I think you've seen a couple of them.
Yeah, you showed me.
Yeah, so Those are still up. So we've tried for a minute, and then again it shut down. But nothing came of it. I invested so much. I got the A7S, not the A7S. It was the A7 III. I got the capture card. I dropped like 2 bands on a gaming PC, which you saw, right?
Yeah.
Dual monitors. I was all in. But unfortunately, the team wasn't, and everybody kept saying, I don't know, I just felt like they weren't working hard enough. As much as they kept saying, I don't want to do this, or we felt like you're not, we feel like you have too much control. It's like, well, if you put your money into it, if you put your time into it, you can have some of your thought process too. Like, I'll hear you out if you put in the time and effort. But nobody was. So we shut it down, and then we clicked. And it wasn't even my idea. This was your idea. This is the reason TeamCut came back today was because of this guy. It was his idea. I showed it. We met back in 2020. And I showed him the logo from TeamCut Productions. He thought it was sick. He said, let's revive it. So what was your thought process behind that?
I don't know. I really like the logo, and it just made sense. TeamCut, I don't know. There's just something about it. Just, I don't know. It just felt natural and authentic. And I just wanted to roll with it.
It was crazy because that logo, that wasn't the original logo. Have I showed you the original logo, right?
I think you showed me, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
It was completely different design.
Yeah, you did.
The outline is the same. But the actual design concept was different. It was a whole different like feeling to it. So I'm glad we, I guess, revisioned it. It looks great. Everybody loves it. I don't know what person who doesn't love it. Again, my name is Victor, founder, owner of TeamCut Productions. Been doing this for 12 years, trying to at least. But this is the farthest we've ever gotten, farthest I've ever gotten, and it's cool to see how far I've come. Because I gave up twice, and this guy brought me back on board, you know what I mean? So it's cool to see. If you'd ask me back in 2020, what I would have ever thought TeamCut Productions would be where it's at today, I would say, yeah, believe it or not, my cocky ass would be like, yeah, I believe we can get there. But had you asked me 12 years ago when I started TeamCut Productions, would I be happy with where I am at today? I would say no. I'd be completely brutally honest. I'm not happy because seeing that outline and the way social media kind of just landscaped and just kind of like changed, and seeing where we're heading in the right direction, but just had the team just really focused and really like grinded like the way I was trying to, we'd all be set for life, and I think we'd all be living a really, really, really cool life. I'm thankful I met you, don't get me wrong, but I feel like life would be a lot different. And I think we'd all be happy with what we're doing in social media had we committed and had we stayed with what we were doing. But, so yeah, if I'm being brutally honest, had asked me 12 years ago, Victor, are you happy with where TeamCut Productions will be in 12 years? And you show me the future, I'd be like, what the fuck? That's nothing what I had envisioned. I'm just being brutally honest. You know what I mean? Am I happy today? 100%. I gave up twice. You know what I mean? The team gave up twice. But I'm glad. As of currently, I'm thankful. I'm blessed. I'm happy to be where I'm at today. I worked my ass off. It's hard to make connections. Hard to make status. It's hard to do all this. And just set a foundation for a team and, create credibility, create, creativity and just videos, photos, whatever the case is. It's a lot harder than what people think it is.
It's a process.
It's a full process.
Finding your style, and I don't know, how long did it take for you to find your own style? Like, get into the game.
I felt like I didn't find my style until literally, I want to say 2 years ago. So 2022. I feel like me and you. Let's jump back a little bit, right?
Let's reminisce.
Let's reminisce. We met 2 years ago. I don't want to get too much into details. We'll get into that in just a moment. But when we started in 2020, I felt like me and you were kind of just looking what was happening on social media and trying to replicate it. We didn't have a vision just yet.
Yeah, we had references and just pretty much copycat all the other
tutorials. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like everybody starts off like that. You know what I mean? I feel like there's nothing wrong with that. But at some point, you have to get creative. At some point, you have to find your style, your niche, whatever the case may be. It was around 2022, and if I had to put a stamp on it, I feel like, believe it or not, it'd probably be Tahoe Live with Steve Aoki and Louis the Child.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I felt like I found my style, because there was a certain color grade I was starting to use. There was a certain, like, I guess, composition I was starting to use.
Yeah.
And I was already so deep in the EDM community where I found out, like, okay, I know the lighting, I know the stage, like, production, I know the music, you know, by heart at this point. I wouldn't say by heart all the way, but enough where I could hear the beats per minute. I could hear maybe transitions. I know enough of popular songs or popular underground songs where I can kind of hear it. I can hear it coming up, and I can predict it, and I can get a photo or I can get a video. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like 2022, I'm really found my groundings in this community in both regards of EDM and photography and videography. You know what I mean? So that's what I did. What about you? Like, when did you feel like you found your style? Because I feel like it was as of recent, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I think recently, because I don't know, I think I started to really trying out different new styles and what I really like, because I don't know, I'm very picky, and I like to be a perfectionist, and I don't know why, but I'm still trying to get over that. But you know, that's the only thing that's holding me back. But yeah, I think I found my style pretty much. But yeah,
Yeah, and it's crazy because I think, not in a bad way, but me and you went into two separate genres, and I think they worked out for the best of us, right? Mm-hmm. And it's two different styles at the end of the day. So I'm mostly into EDM, electronic dance music, and I feel like there's a really, really huge scene here in the NorCal region, right? So that's great. Mm-hmm. But for you seems like you made that transition to more hip hop and R&B and rap. So how's that going along for you, though? You know what I mean? Going through that transition.
Pretty good. It's challenging. I'm not gonna lie. It's just meeting all these new people and just making connections and trying to be the best and creative wise and being the best videographer to them and you know, just trying to grow.
No, it's cool to see you make that transition because we've started in the EDM scene. So let's rewind back to time clock now, right? So let's jump back to 2020. I met Brandon because we had a mutual friend, right? And she introduced me to him. She's like, "Hey, I have a friend who's a videographer as well. He's having a hard time getting artists to pay him for work he just did." So she showed me his work, and I was like, "This is some pretty cool stuff." You know, for beginner level work, because we and him were both beginner levels. We weren't where we are today. So I was like, "This is really good stuff and really cool and good stuff." And so she's like, "Hey, I see you working with some other artists. I see you working with some models. Can you please get him to just tag along, shadow you, and see where it goes?" I'm like, "Sure." And then the first shot we did together was with, we'll say his name, Cool Code.
Yeah.
That was with, he got a model. We got to do a shoot for his clothing brand. And how did you feel about that experience when we first met? You know what I mean? Like, how did you feel about, okay, cool, you got your first, I guess, foot in the door in some kind of way into the scene of Sacramento?
It was new. I was like, I don't know. I was stepping into a world that I was just not familiar with, and it was like, I don't know. It was different, but I really liked it. I really liked the whole scene, and I don't know, stuck with it.
Yeah, so that's when we formally met in person. And then I want to say literally like a couple months after that, not even kidding, there was an underground rave here in Sacramento.
Yeah.
And I went by myself. He didn't go because I wasn't sure if that was his scene. I just went by myself. And I was like, cool, let me just kind of capture the moment, see what happens, right? And just kind of go from there. Made a recap video, and it popped the fuck off because COVID had happened, right? COVID was 2020. No raves, no music scene. Everything was closed, like everything.
What was the first video that we worked on? Was it the Galaxy one?
The Neon Galaxy.
Neon Galaxy.
So I worked on so it was the rave, the underground rave was called Neon Galaxy. It was the first one. I went by myself. I edited it by myself. I got help from you over the phone a couple times. But you didn't help me with that video just yet.
I think it was the second one.
It was the second one.
Yeah.
So what happened was the first one took the fuck over. Again, because COVID had happened. No concerts, no live events, nothing, right? No raves. So what ended up happening was, in that time, there was only underground raves. The only way you found out was because if you found somebody who knew about it, or you found about it online, and it was kind of like under the I guess under the table, kind of like hush hush in a way. So people were kind of not scared to talk about it, but people, if you knew, you knew kind of thing. It was like,
If
cool.
you know, you know.
Exactly. So people ended up finding out, buying tickets, getting links, and whatever the case may be, and it ended up being really, really popular. And I made the recap for it by myself, and it popped the fuck off. I'm talking about artists that I would have never thought in a million years would check out that video. And so I ended up getting a bunch of views. I ended up getting a bunch of profile visits. I ended up getting a bunch of like story views that from artists that I would never thought of, right? And so when the second one was happening, because it was so popular, and the I guess the owners and the founders of the rave knew the video did so well that they decided to do a second one. That's when I brought you along, because I knew this one was going to be bigger and it was going to be louder and it was going to be crazier. So I said, let me bring Brandon along. And how did you feel about that scene, jumping into EDM right away, no hesitation? We dove. It felt like in the deep end, but trust me, that was not even the deep end. That was like the shallow end. You know what I mean?
I think for me, I don't know, just I felt too oblivious to the whole, like, because I didn't really know much about EDM until you introduced me. And I didn't even know it.
I didn't know anything about. That was my first rave. That
was your first rave.
The first one was my first rave.
Oh, okay.
Because long story short, to make it quick, real quick, I wanted to go to a rave originally. I was supposed to go to the Lost Lands with my ex-girlfriend at the time, because she wanted to go. So I was like, cool, we'll go. But then COVID happened, so we didn't go. And so I was like, let me go to an underground rave to experience it. Let me not go to one of the biggest raves in the countries and be fucking scared of it. Let me just go to an underground rave. So I went to that. I loved it, and that's when I brought you along. So the one we worked on was my second rave ever. So
crazy, I'd say. I just not something I never experienced before, because I've never like really looked into EDM like that until you introduced me. But I don't know. I just like the whole people, and just like everyone's friendly and just, I don't know, respectful.
Yeah, so that's what it is. It's the plur community, you know, peace, love, unity, and respect. I didn't know nothing about that at the time, right? I just we just went to it. It ended up being a good vibe, good time. So we just decided to keep going with it, right? The first one did good. We did the recap for the second one, and that did, believe it or not, that fucking blew up even more, right? It got twice the amount of views in the first one, and then reaching more artists. You know what I mean? It ended up getting attraction like no other, and that set us up for success like I would have never thought, right? Because for that exact recap, right, for the second rave, which was Neon Galaxy Part 2, so we're talking about the second rave, believe it or not, that's when Cash had viewed the story on my page.
Oh, yeah.
And literally, I screenshot it. I made it a big deal. I texted everybody, and I was like, yo, Cash checked out my story. Again, I was just getting into the scene. I didn't know who the artists were. I didn't know their music, nothing. I actually knew one of their songs, but that was about it. But it was cool to see that, literally just, I think 3 months later from that moment happening, Cash came to Sacramento, and I got to work with them because of that video. You know what I mean? So it's cool. It was a full circle moment, and that, again, if it wasn't for that recap for Neon Galaxy Part 2, it ended up setting us up for where we are today. You know what I mean? So it's cool. And it ended up with that recap. It got us more gigs, more opportunities, and we kind of just steamrolled from there. You know what I mean? So it's cool. And here we are today, you know what I mean? Doing a podcast.
In the studio.
Right? In a full legit fucking studio.
Imported studios, by the way. Imported studios.
Yeah, shout out to Imported Studios, you know what I mean? This is pretty legit. This is only one half of the studio, too, that we're in. So
they just remodeled the back for the styrofoam or whatever was that.
Yeah, there's a lot of remodeling done. This is pretty legit. Yeah. Let us know what you guys think about this setup, you know what I mean? So let us know.
There's more.
But this is literally only half of this room studio. We got another half that we want to use eventually, you know what I mean? And trust me, it's gonna look legit. We'll hit that side of the room eventually down the line, but for now we're gonna keep it one-on-one and kind of just go from there. So what's going on with you on your side though? I heard you're working with Plush, right? What's going on with that?
It's something. It's very different. It's very, like, I don't know how to say it. It's a lot to take in, and especially because, you know, this was brought up on me, and I'm just trying to tackle it however I can, but you know, it's going pretty great. The vibes are great, they're great, and I'm just working on it, and, you know, I'm excited for the next events because they're awesome. I love being there. I just love the people there, and then there's pretty fun vibes there.
Yeah. It looks like a vibe, dog. I've seen the videos, man. I've seen the photos. I'm like, damn. I want to go one time. I want to show love and support. So Plush, shout out to you guys. You guys got a pretty fucking amazing crew over here. You know what I mean? Let's talk about your half of TeamCut Productions, man. Who do you have on your side when it comes to that side of, I guess, the hip hop, rap, and R&B side?
Videography.
Like just in general, who's your crew that you're like, fuck, let's tackle this project together?
I have my boy Fernando and Kamar. They're my homies since high school, pretty much. My homie Fernando, he's from Salinas, but he's the one that like operates on VHS. And then my homie Kamar, he also has the Sony as well. But we got the whole media team. We got Will, we got Chris, we got Eddie, we got Jasmine. We got all these people working together as a team, as a family, and trying to produce the best content out there, for SAC, and just trying to show the people, just it's a fun time, come out, come to Plush, if you know, all that stuff.
No, I think that's great, dog. I honestly like that scene of hip hop and rap and R&B. That's the scene that I want to be a part of, right? Like your guys' community that you guys have building. That's great. Don't stop. Keep that shit going. I'm not even joking, right? And who knows, right? You can take over as a host one day on this show, and you can bring one of your crews. You know what I mean? And just kind of go over Plush. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the scene, right? Let's talk about the nightclubs. Let's talk about what's going on. Let's talk about the artists and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's so much stuff we can do with this podcast, and I'm excited for it. You know what I mean? Plush being one of them for you and your team. You know what I mean? Your side of TeamCut Productions and what's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Likewise for me, that's kind of what I've been doing. This was the original idea for this podcast, right? I wanted to bring a bunch of local artists together, and a lot of the music event scene here in NorCal in general, whether it's Sacramento, San Francisco, Tahoe, the Valley, which would be like, on the top of my head, like Stockton, all the way down to Fresno and back up, you know what I mean? Chico, even go as far as Redding, anything NorCal area, in my opinion, right? I want to bring more local artists, more production teams on, and just kind of go over and try to grow the community even more, because I feel like the community has been growing pretty fucking fast and quick the last 4 years since 2020. A lot of the artists that we've started working with underground are doing some pretty huge fucking things, you know what I mean? And even for us, right? So it's cool to maybe even bring on these artists, bring on these event production teams, and kind of just bring out the word for Sacramento. Just be like, yo, this is what's going on. I'm throwing down here, or hey, I'm performing here, this venue, this time, and just kind of talk about them and get to know them more one-on-one. You know what I mean? That's the goal of this podcast. I want to bring people and make it more personal. There's actually one topic I want to get into. Maybe this can be the closing statement, or like the closing topic. How do you feel about Soul Bloom being, canceled or postponed until next year?
It's an unfortunate situation.
No, I don't want to hear that, bro. Let's go deep into the meat. How do you really feel, bro? Let's jump back a little bit.
I mean, what do you want?
Brandon wanted to be a part of the media production team for Soul Bloom. He hit me up. He wanted to get the team together to shoot for Soul Bloom. We talked about it. We went over it. And then next thing you know, like literally a couple days later, he's like, yo, that shit got canceled. I'm like, damn.
I was kind of hurt. I'm not going to lie. But
I would be hurt, man. It sucks when you see a large event, especially a music event, like that in Sacramento kind of just collapse. And I don't mean collapse in a bad way, but it did get canceled and it got postponed to next year. There was some talks about it already being canceled or postponed because of the conditions that Sacramento was in. Yeah. So, but unfortunately, I just felt like unfortunately it was bad timing overall. Hopefully next year comes back. Will it happen? I'll be honest, I don't know. I feel like they have to for the culture, because that was a pretty big lineup, you know what I mean? So everybody wants that to happen here in Sacramento. Soul Bloom is where it's at. Everybody loves it, enjoys it, you know what I mean?
It was really fun.
Did you go last year?
Yeah, I went last year.
Who was in the lineup last year? I'm trying to remember.
It was Brent Fayez, Kaylani.
Oh, that's right.
Uncle Jones, Mariah the Scientist. Yeah.
Okay. I gotta look at the lineup again. Soul Bloom, come back, bro. Hopefully it happens. But yeah,
with
we'll
love,
kind of
with love.
yeah, with animosity, bro. You better come the fuck back, bro. But it's 6:52. We're about to wrap up right now. So yeah, again, this is the studio. Please let us know what you think. Let's go over it. Let's talk about it. Let us know what we can change. What do you think about it? Obviously, our colors is baby blue, so we had the baby blue lighting. Like I said, we have a second half of the room that we want to use, but it probably won't be used for another, I want to say 2 to 3 months, because we want to see how far we can get with this podcast. Obviously, there's more artists, more people who we want to bring on, but we got to get the equipment for it. And the equipment is not fucking cheap. So I just want to see how far we can get with this.
We got 3 Sony cameras.
We got 3 Sony cameras. We got microphone sets up, bro. We got lighting. Like, come on, bro. This is not cheap. You know what I mean? So, but I love what we do. I want to see how far we can get with this. Even if we don't get far with it, I'm probably going to keep this going, man. Why not, right? I'm having a good ass time. I'm excited to see how the artists feel about this. I'm excited to see how far we can get with this. Because I've been trying to do this, at least I've been trying to do podcasts for like 10 years now. Since it was back in the day with Ray William Johnson and Anna Kana. You remember that podcast?
Yeah, Ray William Johnson. Oh, yeah.
It was a Ray William Johnson and Anna Kana. This was when they were still dating, and they had a podcast together. It was in the intro was like, the vibe of it was like a comic book podcast. It wasn't topics about comics, but the vibe of it was comics, because Ray William Johnson was a fan of comics. So the intro was cool. It was comic related. Their backdrop had comics on it. It was really tight, and they had some really good topics. Ever since then, I wanted to do podcasts. So it's cool that we're doing it now. So I don't want to stop. I want to keep this going full gas, no brakes. Okay. We're gonna get an intro. We're gonna get an outro. When it's gonna happen? Hopefully within the next 2 weeks, because visuals is not easy. I have other people working on it, so hopefully that gets done soon. But with that being said, man, thank you for joining us on the first pilot episode of Team Talks, presented by TeamCut Productions. This is Brandon Maciel.
I'm Brandon, by the way. I never got to introduce myself.
Oh, yeah.
I'm co-founder.
Yeah. So, Brandon Maciel. And then my name again is Victor, a.k.a. Big Sexy, owner and founder of TeamCut Productions, man. We're excited for the future. Please let us know in the comments again what you guys think, what we can change, what we can do better, and hopefully we can move forward and get some pretty good things going. You know what I mean? Some pretty good moments. One of the artists, we have 2 artists that we want to bring on, right? We don't know who it's going to be yet, but we'll kind of go there. We'll announce it soon. Don't know when we'll announce it, but when everything gets locked in, everything gets kind of finalized, we'll announce it, and hopefully that'll be sometime next week. So thank you guys again for joining us.
Thank you.
We appreciate you, appreciate your time, and we'll see you on the next episode of Team Talks, presented by TeamCut Productions. Appreciate you all.
See you.